Oh, all these buttons and jiggery pokery, and we're live here, Airfix and Chill, on your normal Monday night. But crumbs, doesn't it get dark and cold now, isn't it? I keep moaning about it, but it has gone Baltic down here. It really has. It's proper shite weather. Anyways, when it's dark and dirty and the crap weather, normally it's Telford time, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Who's going Telford this year? Anyone? Alex is. Are you going, John?
No.
John,
Too
Alex?
far. Too far for me.
I'm going to fly over. Yeah.
You're flying over?
It's on my bucket list to go to Telford one year. Yeah.
Sully's going. Sully's going and taking his wife with him,
I might be. You know, actually. With all the shizzle that's been going on, and I remembered the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. I remembered I've got to pay for that Gannet as well. So I don't know. I'd like to go because this was supposed to be my first year going as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully, but we'll have to have a bit of a look.
I am going on the Sunday for roughly 3 to 4 hours. I'll be leaving here at 6 in the morning, getting there for about 9:30, going in, quickly visit the people I want to see, which is on the Sunday, and then get back in the van at 2 o'clock to get back down here. So I've got an appointment in the evening, so I've got quite a bit on that Sunday. James, tomorrow go. Are you going Telford?
No.
You're close to Telford, aren't you?
I'm miles away. I can't bloody drive.
If you start walking now, mate, you'll get there.
Well, I might have some difficulty doing that.
And Fenris has got kids, so he won't be going. Even though he lives in America, he's got kids, so he won't be going either. Will you, Fenris?
Maybe not this year, but 1 year. Similarly, I'm hoping to go, and we've been wanting to make a trip out that way for a while anyway. So no reason we couldn't make that part of the thing, right?
Yeah,
that's
fair
right.
Play to you. Fair play. Model officer James, who is at Sprewbox, he can't make it tonight because he's actually in the throes of receiving the Outlaw paints because they're launching it that weekend at Telford, Outlaw Paints. I haven't put the link in, but their podcast, Just Making Conversation, went live today about lunchtime. And luckily I was at the computer, so I was able to listen to it. And it's a really fascinating insight into Telford Model Show and what goes into it, because they've got the organizer, I believe, or was it secretary of IPMS or whatever, on there talking about what goes into the actual model show. And it's really good. I wish I had the link. So if anybody's got the podcast, it's Just Making Conversation. If they could put it into the chat, that'd be really helpful. So I should have put it in the comments, but I completely forgot. But and just going on about what goes into scale modeling. Now, I don't know. I know COVID took a dampener, but I've gone to 5 scale model shows this year. I think they're coming back in a vengeance. I think scale modeling, the shows are getting better and better. So the premise of the chat tonight is Telford and scale model shows. All right, so we're going to talk about them in particular. But me and Alex went to Yeovil Model Show, and I saw him on Sunday. So I was there with my model club, showing off my models with the club, and we had a really good display. Actually, there were some really good models on our table, but mind you, there's good models all over. There's some cracking models. But was there anything caught your eye when you were there on Sunday, Alex?
I mean, lots of things. I think it was a really good show. I mean, it was a $5 to get in.
Yeah.
As a general member of the paying public, 3 halls. I think they could improve the signage, because I think some people that came didn't realise that there were more halls. So they came and just looked at 1 or 2 of them and didn't see. And I think that's something generally that small model shows could probably do with doing better, is thinking of it as a maybe getting somebody just to walk in as though they were a member of the public and just seeing, can I be directed easily here?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a really good show. One of the buildings is really interesting. It was the positive pressure tent, which I think Moss knows more about than me. First time I've ever seen anything like it. It was weird.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
It is really strange.
It's like
but model-wise, sorry, Ross, I was just saying, model-wise, there were a ton of things. I mean, some of the same stuff that was at Salisbury, but some different stuff as well, both by some of the clubs that were at Salisbury and also some clubs that weren't. A really good mix, actually. Not just seeing the same thing over and over again, but like lots of different subjects. There were big boats, there were tin soldiers, there were planes plenty, space, sci-fi, all sorts of stuff. Just a really good mix.
Yeah. Did you see the 3D guy?
Yes.
What do you think of him?
Well, you tell me your thoughts and I'll add to them.
Well, I'm going to get him on this show. I've invited him on to have a chat to us about what he is doing. Seriously, I thought scale modeling, 3D print resin was a million miles away. But some of his models that he's built, it blew me away. But I saw him at Bovington Tank Museum at the Scale Model Show there. But this time I was able to actually stand there and have a good chat with the guy. And he's producing 1/35 figures that are more detailed than what I've seen from an injection molding point of view. All right, you finally see the lines and everything, but blow me.
The modern resin printers, like I've got an 8K printer, right? It can do. You cannot see the lines, the print lines. The resolution on it is too high for you to be able to visually see the lines. And you can print anything in any orientation, so you're not limited by what an injection molding machine would be limited by.
Yeah.
So I think a large part of the future of modeling, particularly in kind of aftermarket accessories, is going to be in 3D printing.
Yeah.
I think modeling, or modelers perhaps, are a little bit behind the curve on this. I think if you go to like wargamers, miniature painters, they are further along this route than we are in general. I guess because they're doing smaller scale, and they have little bits that they can add and customizing things and stuff like Warhammer and things. But yeah, I think a lot of 3D printing is going to be the future of modeling.
The only thing I'm going to say is that you can see lines, which you wouldn't see in injection molding, would you?
But you can't with the highest resolution printing. And even if you can see like the optical differences in layers, because we're talking about like 20, well, the highest printers, it depends on how big you're printing stuff. But it's like you're talking 20 microns.
Yeah.
You cannot see that in terms of the surface finish. You might see it because you're looking through the layers, but if you put paint on it, there is nothing on the surface.
Really? Okay.
That's the resolution we're getting to. Now it's really about affordability and making it more accessible, I would say, because it is a messy. Resin 3D printing is messy. It's not accessible in the same way that filament printing is being made a lot more, if you like, consumer friendly. You could basically get a filament printer now that you can set up in your hotel room, in your living room, whatever. Press a button on your phone and it will print something. You can't do that with resin printing.
I get that. Also, then, as somebody who's done, we're going to go back to scale modeling, but we just talk about Yeovil because it was just a really good time. But this 3D, it's called 3D Gizmo. I'm going to get the guy on probably next week, and then to chat to us about it, because he says it's still a hobby to him. But I was seeing 1/35th scale, or it must be 1/16th actually. The lorries that he's done blew me away, and I'm thinking, if this is the future, if you've got the money to invest in high-end tech like this and willing. He said that it's the time it takes to do it. Like this one thing took 18 hours to 3D print, and you're not guaranteed a print every single time. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a learning curve to it. You can get failures. There's a learning process, like with any technology. So 3D resin printing is quite sensitive to temperature. So I've got a bunch of printers back, wrong shoulder, back here. So if the temperature drops here sort of to 12 degrees, because it's a chemical process, the resin takes longer to cure. So if you can imagine, that curing is securing your material to the bed effectively. So if that's not cured properly, the suction forces can pull that off. They can do anyway, but obviously if you cured it properly, it shouldn't. So there are learning curves with that, and there are some variables that to start with you might not take into account. But yeah, it's getting better all the time, and the technology, the tweaks, if you like, to make it more reliable, more robust, are coming through in the companies, and it's becoming more affordable because, of course, there's lots of companies getting involved in it, some quite big ones. China's heavily involved in that, so it's driving innovation. So competition is always good for that. That's the way capitalism works. Moving technology forward and prices down to make it more affordable and accessible to us. There are even things like water washable resins now, resins that are derived from plant materials, so it's not from sort of more like the chemical industry. If you're worried about the environmental impact, there are still some nasty bits of it. The resins, doesn't matter where they come from, aren't very nice in monomer form. Most resins aren't. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that we are at the beginning of something which is democratizing the ability to do a lot of stuff. Just as an example, I 3D printed a Pratt & Whitney double wasp, or the Corsair, the awful Revell 50-odd-year-old Corsair. Has this big blob of an engine at the front, which looks nothing like a double wasp. I 3D printed one down to the detail of the push rods, and it has the pieces for where you're putting in all the injection cabling and stuff. It looks.
Let me know when you release the kit, and I will absolutely pick one up because I've been wanting a kit of that for a while.
But that was a free STL, right? So I just went on Thingiverse, found. I think it was Thingiverse. But I just literally typed Pratt & Whitney double wasp STL file into Google, got the result. It's free. Somebody's just designed this. I think they've done it for like a flying aircraft more than static model. But because STL files, you can size them to whatever. I just scaled it for 32nd scale, printed it out. It prints each of the cylinder heads individually. You just assemble it up. It looks magnificent. If you were to buy one of those, you'd easily be paying like £20, $25, $30, and it took maybe a pound's worth of resin.
Wow. Do you know what? It just blew me away. And there was a lot of people around that area where he was, and he was selling little figures. I've done a video, not quite launched it yet. I'm going to launch either tomorrow of the actual Yeovil model show. While I was there filming, Bugle Call have asked me to go up there and film their model show as well. There's nothing special. I just go around and I just film very quickly every table, so you can pause the video or slow it down so you can see what's on each table or see your model. If you were at Yeovil model show and you didn't come, I didn't say hello to you, I do apologize. I was talking to a lot of people because as soon as I'm talking, they go, I recognize that voice. They hear the voice before they see the man, So but there was a lot of people there yesterday, and it was I think model shows have a place. I think Telford is the Mecca, if I can use that word without offending anyone, is the Mecca of scale models. And yes, it's if you want to go and hear about the what goes behind the scenes, go and listen to Just Making Conversation podcast. I have in my room, in my stream, I've actually pinned it to the top. So if you want to have a look. But I think scale modeling is more of us to get out and be social. I I think that's where model shows is where it's all about.
Well, I think Moss, that was demonstrated aptly by you caught me in the second hall, and you know, as soon as we started chatting, somebody else came up to us and introduced themselves. We watched both of our shows, both of our channels, as well as Nigel's modelling bench. First time we've met them, but that's great, right? It's just like to be recognised and to have that interaction with people who watch the channel. You know, I caught up with a lot of people, people that are coming to the shop, people from local clubs and stuff. So you do spend a lot of your time talking to people and catching up with people, which is, I think, fantastic. And usually when I go to Telford, I go for both days for that exact reason, because I know that at least like a half, probably 2/3 of one of the days is just going to be talking to people, you know, just catching up. And I think that element is much overlooked, considering that our hobby is very individual. And that social aspect, I think, is something that we all enjoy. It's why people, I think, join model clubs. I don't think they really join model clubs to particularly learn techniques or to you know, showcase their models or anything. I think it is for that human interaction, because you know, we are social animals, and sharing something that we love is a joy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a joy.
Hi Phil, thank you.
Yeah, Phil, nice to see you again. Yeah,
What's your name? Apologies for that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is the thing. It's like more people know my face or my voice than I know their name, and when you meet, say, like it must have been about 15 people who, and they all wanted to thank us more. So we love Airfix and Chill. On a Monday night, you sit on your bench and you've just got talking about, you know, I'm there building a model, and every so often I just pipe up and, you know, make a comment. Like Celtic West, he's part of the Scale Model Club I'm with. I'm really good friends with Celtic West, and you know, he says it's the best thing ever. He's got his gin and tonic, he's got his model in front of him, and he's got us in the background. And something piques his interest, he'll write a sarky comment in the chat, like, you know. So, but there is definitely a place for scale model shows. And going back to Yeovil quite briefly, was that there's no competition there, by the way. There's no competition. It's just purely show off your models, and people will come and talk to you and ask about your models. And there's nothing better than talk about your technique and also the problems they had building a particular model. They'll ask you that question. Did you have a problem with this? And you'll go, yeah, you know what I mean? Or no. But, you know, it's that social activity. Social is such a big thing, especially after COVID, where we were all locked in for so long and we just kind of stayed on our benches. John Alec, you don't go to model shows because your nearest one is miles away, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there's one that occurs each year in the sort of the greater DC area. I think Virginia, I think there's one in Richmond. And, you know, that's a good 2 hours, two and a half hours from me.
Would you go though? But don't you go? Would you still go though? Even though it's 2.5 hours away? Because your model shows aren't a day though, are they? They go on for like a week at a time, because a lot of people have to travel a long way to a model show, don't they?
Yeah, so if I was going to travel to one, I would go to, you know, the IPMS Nationals or something like that. I'd go to something like our equivalent of Telford, or our closest equivalent to Telford. If I was going to go to a model show, you know, I'm going to have to travel no matter what. So I might as well, you know, book a flight to wherever it is, you know, Atlanta or something like that. And, you know, you stay in a hotel or something. But so I guess maybe that's why I just don't go. I'm the other reason is too, is I'm so domesticated that, you know, it's like, oh, well, do I want to, you know, go and do that? And the last thing would just be, you know, if more people from my club, my local hobby club, they're kind of the same way. You know, it's really a bunch of old farts that just really kind of don't feel like going anywhere, right? and so it'd be neat, you know, to go with people that I know and have a have a good time like that instead of a sort of a solo affair. Those are my thoughts.
Fair enough. Dave, Harley Scale Models. Hello, sir.
Hello. How are we doing? You all right?
Really well. Are you looking at going to Telford this year?
I've actually dropped out this week.
Ooh.
Unexpected issues with the car, so I had to drop out. But it's a long way. It's like a 250-mile drive, and it's an overnight stop as well, really. So
really,
I've had not in the head this year, but I'm going next year hopefully. So.
See, I don't think about just jumping in a car or my van, unloading all my disco equipment, jumping in my van and going miles to a model show. It doesn't phase me at all.
It wouldn't with me, to be honest. It's just the totally bad look, however you want to say it. Just the car's gone tits up at just the wrong time. So
yeah, what a shame. James, you go to model shows, don't you, up around your area?
No.
Okay. What? I thought you did. I thought you said you went to one.
No, I did. I did go. I went to them a few years ago.
Yeah.
Many years ago. I went with my dad's friend.
Yeah.
But because obviously he got us in for free. Because he had a model shop.
Yeah.
But not recently, no.
No. Okay. Fair enough. Do you think there's a place for model shows? For somebody who doesn't go to a model show? Would you like to go to a model show?
I'd love to go to a model show, but I don't think a model show would agree with me.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
So
I understand. Well, if there's a model show up there near you and you want company, I will jump in the van and go to a model show with you, mate. And we'll go around and look and marvel at what people do to their models that makes me sick. You know, we had this huge tank, a 1/16 Tacom tank, on our table, and I stood there looking at it for hours. He got the Zimmerit perfect. It wasn't even the correct Zimmerit for that particular tank. He got it from another kit. He got it absolutely spot on. So if you saw that on the ISCA Scale Model Club table, that big tank, it was just outstanding. And I said to the guy, I said, it makes me sick. So I can't get to that. I can't do that. It's not in my skill set, you know. But then again, putting Zimmerit on a Bearcat wouldn't look right with it, you know what I mean? So, that's my excuse. So let's go with you, mate, because you did the West Midlands Scale Model Show and actually had your table there. That's where I got my Sully Scale Model sticker.
Right. Yeah, well, I was going to send it. Yeah, I thought if you're coming up, you can fucking come and pick it up. Right? Send it posted. Everybody else, I don't mind, but you know.
Sully, did you send mine by carrier pigeon? Because they literally arrived the next day.
I was quite. You got
yours the next day.
Yeah, you got yours next day. James got his about 4 days later. I don't even know if Nigel got his. Actually, he hasn't said.
Well, what you don't know, Dave, is that Sully lives next door to you.
God, I feel sorry for you already.
I'm like a creepy Santa.
Yeah. Fair enough. John Parker, scale model shows for you. Do you go to many around your area?
When I was involved with the Air Training Corps, we used to go to a lot of shows. Centering kits and everything. And I used to like seeing how the juniors got on because some of their stuff was, I mean, it wasn't up to professional standards, but some of their stuff was really good.
Yeah. Last year's youngster won with this tank, and I just gave up. You know, this youngster won it last year with his tank, and it was like absolutely amazing. The standards, I think there's an air of, because of chemicals and stuff that we use, there's certain things that youngsters you wonder should be doing because chemical wise, some of it can be quite dangerous. But he brought out this tank and he won the Young Scale Model of the Year award.
Wow!
And it was really great to see, which is something that was missing from West Midlands Police Model Show. We've got no children in the children's category again this year. We need to do something about it. So, but there are big steps being involved because Airfix now have a scout badge or a cub badge for scale modelling. They do they were giving away, I think it was, scale model bundles with paint in them, which is good. The original ones weren't that good because they just came with the old vintage classic Churchill tank, or the old World War One female tank. Was it male tank? I think it was one of the two. And just like 4 pots of paint. But I think this time they've really gone for it. So, yeah. What about you then, Fenris? Are you a kind of guy who goes to scale model shows?
I have never been to one. And I was supposed to go to one this past weekend, but a few things fell out and a few things popped up. Believe it or not, there was a dinosaur exhibit that popped up, and we ended up going to that instead of a model show. Go figure, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, but
Cool.
there was one up in Alabama, so it was going to be about a 6-hour drive. Yeah, about a 6-hour drive. And so I had planned to go up there to take the recently finished the Stug 3 that I did, because it was going to be entirely armor. So it was an armor museum event thing that was mostly going to be armor there at that particular model show. But again, things just kind of fell out, so I didn't go to that one. But here in Central Florida, we actually have a ton of Gundam model shows and a few other smaller ones, and I've wanted to go to them, and it's been one of those things where things have always fallen out and I've never gotten to, but I want to go to a model show so badly. Like, I am always so jealous of how many y'all have every year.
Yeah. See, also at scale model shows, you have like the box by the table. So like a lot of scale model clubs, they'll bring a box of them with models and they'll do like some deals on some kits. And we had quite a few, like a box full of kits. I don't know whether they allow that at Telford. I presume they do. Some scale model clubs have a bargain bucket of kits.
I think all of the IPMS clubs are allowed to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they also have they have a specific event, don't they, at Telford? There's like a room where all the members can bring their stuff. I think it might be that.
Bring your shop then, Alex. Just book it in there, like, You you met up with the Deluxe Material guy, didn't you? And had a chat with him. I introduced you to him.
I did, yeah.
When I see him there, I always buy something. And he had this rusting kit, which was 19 quid. I didn't buy it, but I'm tempted. Where they you put this like metal stuff all over you, like a powder, all over your model, and then you dip this compound or this liquid on top of it, and it just rusts it out like proper rust, which looked really interesting. But it's not really my cup of tea, really. But they've got some new products coming out. They've got their own masking stuff coming out now, which is very interesting. He showed me a canopy that they had done, and what they do is you get the canopy, you mask over it with all this liquid, let it dry, and then you cut around where you want the masking to be removed. So when you pull it off, you're left with the masking on the canopy itself, if you know what I mean. It's very clever. They didn't have it there on the day, but you showed me a canopy that had done, and you spray it, you paint it up, then remove that masking after. It's quite clever how they've come up with something that will do that. Well, I've come up with something anyway, but we'll talk about that another time. Right, Telford. Basically, it's 3 halls full of scale modeling, and they've got all the brands there as well. So this year, Airfix have got a stand. Revell have a stand now. They've come back. Eduard apparently are coming back this year, which is really interesting. So, like, with all the talk about their decals and everything, I just wonder, whether people will go up there and ask them what the deal is with their decals. Some people were pretty, quite happy with them. One of the chaps who come on to Airfix and Chill very irregularly, but he has been on before, is Modeling Weekly, and he's done a video on how he removes the carrier film off the decals for the Eduard kits, and he uses white spirit to remove them, and he's getting a pretty good result from doing that. So if you want to go and check out his video about the decals, apparently it does work, this idea of removing the film after. So they're going to be there this year. Went to show that restricted under table sales to protect taxes stand. Oh, I see. So when people are paying to have a table to sell their models, they don't want the under table sales to be present. I can see that. Yeah, interesting. I like shows at museums, like the Tank Museum. You get to see the full size kit as well as the scale models. That's true.
Yeah.
Bovington's brilliant. Does Cosford have a scale model show, Sully, or not?
We used to.
Okay.
It was the Shropshire Model Show. It was I believe it was actually one of the second largest.
Yeah.
But what was it? There was COVID was one of the biggest issues with it. I think there might have been there potentially may have been something else before the reasoning, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think they are on about bringing it back. But because there's been a lot of move of stuff up there, they've sort of struggled to figure stuff out. But I don't know. I keep nagging them about it, so hopefully.
Can't you run it, Sully? Can't you get on and grab the bull by the horns and set it up for
I
yourself?
don't know. Maybe. I might have to I might have a look at that.
Yeah.
Be good to have it back because it was a good day actually.
You have a weathering sig, Sully.
Yeah.
Yeah, the farmyard animal sig. Yeah.
Bring your own bird's nest sig.
Yeah, that's the one.
I went to Telford last year, and because I hadn't been for 3 years, and I did feel that it wasn't the same pre-COVID. There was just something missing, but what I didn't realize, it's not really the COVID thing, it was the Brexit thing. Apparently there was a lot of misinformation about it, that people, about the idea, but there was an issue with them bringing kits into the country, having to pay VAT on it, then having to pay VAT to get them back out of the country. Alex, do you know more about that? Because I think it was you.
I think in addition to that, though, Moss, it's not just the whole model bit, but if you think it's just not as easy to move into the UK as it is to move around Europe like it used to be. So, we can't, we are kind of reaping what we have sown. So, these are some of the fringe effects that are perhaps were foreseen but not listened to about some of that, and even if it's just a perception in the eyes of Europeans, because if you remember, Telford has an awful lot of Eastern European modelers, like Czech modelers and Polish modelers, really talented guys, Italian modelers who come over, and if it's more difficult and more expensive to get into the UK than it used to be, well, there are plenty of modelling shows elsewhere in Europe that are maybe not as big as Telford, but it's that value proposition, isn't it? It's like, well, it's that much more of a hassle. Is it really worth much more going?
I was shocked to hear this week that Beacon Models have pulled out having a table or stand at Telford. He put out, I think it was either an email or there was a blog post or something, and it was real sad to hear it, really, that the modelling is not in the he said that the brand isn't in the place to actually spend the time, the effort, the money to get there. But I've always said that you have to be really careful nowadays on milking the dealers to make a show financially viable. Now, I've said it before, I'm a magician, and years ago we would go to a convention to learn about magic, but also to go to see the dealers. And dealers used to pay a lot of money so you could go and see the latest trick, the latest magic trick, the new designer cards, etc. But when the internet came along, gone are the days of releasing magic trick. People would just rather, well, a lot of magicians now do Kickstarters and stuff. They put their magic out there No, there's none of this going to Blackpool Magic Convention to see the latest Wayne Dobson trick. It's all done online. So there's the actual purpose of going to the convention isn't really about buying kits, because you can buy the kits online whenever you want. You see what I mean? So when it comes to tricks, we could go and buy these magic tricks online. We'll see a video on YouTube. Oh, I'm going to buy that and go and buy it. Gone are those days now with having to go to a convention. And I think that they've, if you want to go to a scale model convention to buy models, albeit, but I think a lot of us go to see other scale models on display, talk about techniques, talking to other scale modelers about our nerdy hobby. And I think the dealers are now stepping back thinking, is it really worth our time going to a convention? Also, you've got theft. Theft is rife at conventions.
Pickpockets, you mean?
Yeah, deep pockets. The same with the magic conventions. We're all pickpocketers, aren't we? So to pick up a deck of cards was quite simple. Off it, they've got cameras there and everything, and it's and also it's the cost of the hotel rooms, because you can't just go up there by yourself. You've got to have 2 or 3 other people there to mind and take the money from the stall. Yeah. You've got to get all the models up there, all the bits and pieces up there. It's not an easy task, and with slim margins, I suppose, on some of these model sets, and also you're competing with the same guy in the room. You know what I mean? It's I think they've got to be careful. I know they're saying that I think a table is about £210 for the weekend, but it may be time for even the IPMS members to cough up a little bit to go to these. I think
what you say there, Moss, is really interesting. I'm sorry if other people wanted to jump in. I just wanted to make a couple of points. So if you think, if you can basically multiply by 4 any cost associated with a trader, and say that's the minimum they have to make to break even. So if you say a table for Telford is £100 a day, that means over the weekend they got to move through at least £800 of product to be able to just break even on that one thing. Adding fuel and hotel costs and stuff, they're making at least like $1,500 to $2,000 for that. Now, bear in mind that modelers are looking for a bargain generally. I mean, I think about myself, right? When I go to a show, I'm looking for the rare things and I'm looking for bargains, right? Yeah. Things that I wouldn't probably normally buy, but I just think that's too good a price to miss. Which means that they're then cutting down on their margins. Their margins aren't that high anyway. I know that, right? So let's say 25% is where their normal margin is. So now they've got to cut into that margin to have any chance of competing against all the other people that are there. So it's volume. So you've got to get the volume. So if you look at Wonderland models when they go, the reason that they have these big, almost lost leader sales there is to bring people in. And you look at those things, they're always packed because they need to get people through to make it worthwhile. Yeah, I've looked at this because it's one of the number one things people ask me: are you going to be at X and Y show as a trader? And I always say no. I have no intention of ever going to a model show as a trader because it just isn't worth my time. Yeah, both from the stress point of view, I would rather model shows are something for me that are pleasurable. I can meet people. I can go looking for those bargains, and principally, I'm talking about stuff not that I can't get as a supplier, right? So this weekend, I really didn't intend to buy anything. I ended up coming away with a 1/24 scale Airfix Typhoon because you can't get them right from Airfix. So I got it at a decent price. I saw it, I bought it, and I'll forgive myself for that. But that's the kind of thing that we do, right? We go along. We might not have intended, right? But we just say, yeah, I probably won't be able to get that anywhere else for this sort of price. I'm going to go in on that. Yeah. So,
and now it's displayed in your shop window with a big sticker on it saying "last in stock."
But the thing is, Moss, I paid that what I'm willing to pay for it. If I put it up for the shop, so I got it for £90, right? Because it was £100. They said £90 for cash, and I'm like, yeah, fine, I've got that cash on me. Principally because I had the money to pay you for those paints, Moss. So if you bought those paints, I wouldn't have been able to get it.
Yeah, I know. I'm such an idiot about that. Who's that?
If I now put it in the shop, I either have to put it at like £120,
yeah,
so over the odds, hoping that somebody will get it, to make a reasonable, say 25% return, or like put it at £100 and make a tenner on it. In which case, what was the point? I might as well make it for myself, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to model shows to buy stock, for sure.
No.
As a trader.
There was a Rockwell B1 for sale. Do you see that? He wanted £100 for it. I couldn't justify it. I really couldn't.
That's a kit. I'm really trying to get in one to 72nd, and you're right. You just can't get it for less than £100. And there's a nice 144th scale kit. It's not the same. You want the wow factor, don't you? Because that is a big plane.
Yeah. It's only 96 parts. That's £1 a part.
So there's a call out for everybody in the chat. Everybody petition Airfix, re-release the B1 as a vintage classic, and we can all buy it.
Well, I went to buy it, and I did do a cheeky text to Dale and say, look, are you going to re-release this, because there's one here for £100, and listen, my wallet was ready. It was ready, I think, and then he texts back saying we're not. So, but I think £100 for that Rockwell is too expensive. So, I was it was I could have just, even though it was in its I don't buy the cellophane wrapper. I bought kits as a kid. Can somebody guarantee this for me? When Airfix back in 2000 was releasing kits, were they cellophane wrapped? Because I can't remember ever taking off cellophane from an Airfix kit. They weren't cellophane. Is that cellophane as well, is it?
Yeah, they were cellophane
wrapped.
I can't remember. Yeah, but that's after 2000, that is, mate. That's
no, it's not. That's a planetoid label. It's a Type 5 box. It's about 1978.
Yeah, I'm talking year 2000.
Year 2000?
Yeah.
None of the
year 2000. But were they cellophane wrapped by the distributor, not necessarily Airfix? See, I'm reluctant. Right? This is my problem when people say, well, cellophane wrapped. My argument is this. It could be cellophane wrapped, but who cellophane wrapped it? I can get it home, there could be parts missing. And you want £100 for that. And whether they're cellophane wrapped or not, those decals are going to be foobarred. That's the problem you've got with a kit that's 23 years old. And I want to be able to open it and have a look. If I'm going to pay £100 for a kit, I want to have a look inside the box at least. But they won't open it because it's cellophane wrap. But I was under the impression that in the year 2000, which is when this one was released, 2000, they only released it 3 times. Last time was 2000, because that was the last release of it. It was cellophane wrapped. And I can't remember ever buying or doing kits back in the day that was so. I've got kits now from Airfix from around 2000. None of them are cellophane wrapped.
Are you sure he didn't cellophane wrap it himself?
That's what I'm saying.
I can remember. Do you remember the pre-Hornby releases, the red boxes before that?
Yeah.
They were coming out in these silver swirly things, and it was like the last box things from the Hella days, wasn't it?
Mm.
None of them were cellophane wrapped.
That's what I mean. Some Airfix kits were cellophane wrapped in the 1980s. Not sure if it was Airfix who did the wrapping or not. But I'm talking about 2000, so I'm talking 23 years ago. I'm talking the year after 99. Okay. I don't remember building kits in 2000. They were ever cellophane wrapped.
No, I don't either.
So, it's.
I had an HMS Belfast, which was a gift set from about 2002.
Yeah.
That wasn't cellophane wrapped.
No.
The inside was.
Yeah.
The tray with all the parts and the paints and that was cellophane wrapped, but the box wasn't.
Kev's Plastic Scale said a lot of venues are changing traders too much and shows are closing down. We had a very big show in Brighton, and the centre outpriced it for traders, so it closed down. It was for any modelling. Yeah, I get that. I had a TSR2 in cellophane. Did you? All right. Was that 2000 release, or was that before 1996? Just asking the question because I don't remember being cellophane wrap, but Scale Model Ninja saying yes, they were. Was that the bloke that had the vintage kits for cash? If it was, he had that up for 4p. No, he didn't. He had it up for 100 quid. If it was for 4p, mate, I would have bought two. Yeah. Auctions tonight? Yes or no? Probably not. But apparently, somebody wants my T-shirt, so maybe auctioning my T-shirt. Yeah,
I've got a 124 scale Typhoon starting at 120 quid.
Yeah. 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 You'll build that and you'll love that Typhoon. If you build it, you will love it. When did they last release that Typhoon anyway, Alex? When was the last release of the Typhoon? Wasn't that long ago, was it?
Oh, I'd have
They discontinued it 12 months ago.
4 years ago. 4 years ago, I think it was.
4 years ago, was it? Yeah.
Have you got the Cardor version or the bubble top?
Somebody just
Bubble
bought
top.
that.
Bubble top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Revell Cardor version, which is horrible.
Awful.
Which I've scratch built the entire interior for. So it's going to be interesting seeing the comparison between the two kits. I mean, it'll be like chalk and cheese, I'm sure.
Yeah. Kevin M, still want your T-shirt, Moz. Fancy auctioning it, he's saying. You should see the ones I've got coming. I've got some really good ones coming, right? This one here, I had designed because I remember having a T-shirt saying Austin 316. You remember the old wrestling, Steve Austin? Yeah, so I thought I could do better. I had Airfix 148, and my mate did it for me. So I could probably ask him if he'll do another one. We'll see. Anyway, just going down through the chat. When Moz started Not This Week auctions, the aim was to have a camera in time for Telford, but Telford won I have got the iPhone 15 now. I used the money to buy that, so I'll have to start again.
So he's lost the motivation to do the auctions.
To be fair, lads, I have had a good sort out of kits. But you do realise there's a lot of aggravation with doing the auctions because some people don't pay. Then I've got to get the money from them. Then I've got to get them sent away. So, give us a couple of weeks. We'll get it together and I'll do another big auction, all right? And then we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that one T-shirt auction. How much can I sell this T-shirt for? I could probably get another 10 made, but would that be right?
It's going to be like one of those strange eBay shoe auctions, Moss, where it's like they can't be washed. It has to have the scent of moss.
Oh no!
We're getting into the fetish websites there by the sounds of it. On eBay to get round kink, they use the word trash trainers. There's a kink where people like smelling shoes, and to get around the algorithm of being kicked off, they call them trash trainers or trash knickers or trash t-shirt or trash bra. Yeah, I'm not lying. I've been doing eBay a very long time.
The viewers will disappear now. They're going
we do trashed Airfix models. They come with crap decals. Kevin M said, I'll give you 20 if washed. I'll give you a brand new one for 20 quid, mate. I'll give you a brand new one for 20 quid. He started already, 50p. 50p. I've got two of these. I think the other one's double XL. So if you double XL is the one you want, got 22 quid now. 22 quid on my T-shirt.
Washed and ironed, though.
Yeah. How do you know all this, Moz? Because I sell on eBay. One of my businesses is eBay, and we regularly get updates from eBay on what they search for. And one of them was the word trash. They stopped using the word trash in their titles. And I didn't even know it myself. Another one, if you want to know something which is for money laundering, do not believe that Beanie Babies and Beanie Bears are worth thousands and thousands of pounds.
No, they're not.
Money laundering is used. So say you want to buy a particular some goods. So what you do, you say you wanted to buy, something illegal. What they would do is they'll say, right, I want you to buy this Beanie Bear off eBay for £3,000. They'll go and buy that bear for £3,000. And that means the money is gone through the system. So it comes out the other end clean, but the person doesn't actually get the Beanie Bear. He'll get this illicit, illegal goods. That's one of the techniques of eBay. Once you get into eBay, you learn a lot of scams, everything, the brick in the box. Yep. I've seen it all, done it all, been part of it.
The photographs.
What do those people do when somebody shows up and like buys the bear for that much, thinking it's actually an investment and like has no idea what they're doing?
One-star feedback. Didn't receive the bear. Very disappointing. Received some sort of gun instead.
That's what they do. Yeah, they sell Beanie Bears. That's one of the tactics. Yeah, back in the day.
Received a wrapped white thing of white powder.
Yeah.
Oh, that caught me off guard. That was funny.
Yeah, very disappointing. Beanie Bear was full of chalk.
On the t-shirt.
How do you know that at Mod 651? I know, mate. Look, when you get involved in groups, we are sellers, and there are Facebook groups and forums, and there's email lists. We get told. If you want to know about trash trainers, also just go and listen to there's a podcast about eBay selling, and they talk in depth about this sort of stuff. So it's all good. Well, at the moment, the bid's at 22 quid. For that t-shirt. I'll see what I can do. Email me after, guys. If there's a particular t-shirt you want, I'll see what I can do. But I can't do anything legit. But then again, this is actually not Airfix, the model company. Yeah. This is Airfix, the company that makes the Airfix air conditioner units. The Airfix company, Airfix, they make air conditioners. It's called Airfix.
Oh, it's not the logo. Yeah,
it's not the logo. Okay,
they'll fix your air for you. Airfix.
They'll fix your air conditioning for you. There's 1 in 48 chance they can do it.
There you go.
Only 1 in 48 of our customers have fire hazards afterwards.
Moz is Breaking Bad. Yeah, Breaking Bad. If you want this t-shirt, you've got to buy a Beanie Bear.
And you've got to buy a large bottle of talcum powder. Yeah. Customer review. It sounds funny, but it's strangely addictive.
Yeah, no, it's eBay is a wonderful platform. It's just that eBay is slowly ruining their own platform. That's the problem. If you want to go and buy model kits, here's a tip for you. Go to Vinted. Firstly, you can sell your model kits. If you want to sell your model kit for £10, you'll get it for £10. If you sell it on eBay, you'll get about £8.50 for it.
That's right.
You'll take £1.50 of fees.
Yeah.
So the postage, you see the high prices of postage on eBay. So £3.99 is the average. But to actually send that model tracked is £3.29. The reason it's £3.99 is because eBay take 10 or 11% of that fee back in. So and the VAT on top of that as well. They charge VAT on all their fees now. So to sell on eBay, you've got to sell it for a lot of money to get return. But on Vinted, if I want to sell a model kit for a tenner, I'll get the £10 because the buyer of the model kit pays the premium at 3%. So if you buy it for £10, you're paying about 30 pence for it. So it'll be £10.30. That £10 goes to the seller. But then you as the buyer pay the postage. And you can get an inbox, or is it in post, for £2.29. So you can imagine you can buy a model kit for £10, push 30p. So for an extra, but for an eBay guy to sell, that'd be 16 quid. Yeah. You see what I mean? That's because of the fees. And eBay use promoted listings. You've got to pay your 2% or your 10% on the promoted listing. Honestly, it's a nightmare.
Listing fees.
Yeah.
Your listing fees, your shop fee. So as somebody who's been doing eBay for years, and I do all right out of eBay, you know, I'm not starving, but I used to make a lot of money on eBay, but I don't make as much as I ever did back then. But the heyday's gone. 5 years ago, eBay's gone, and nobody wants to do eBay. If they want it new, they go Amazon. If they want it next day, they go Amazon.
Yeah.
If they want a cheap deal, they'll look on Facebook Marketplace, and they'll look on Vinted, Poshmark, you know, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So yeah,
I'd never heard of Vinted till Moss told me about it a couple of weeks ago, and I went on. And the very first time I went on, I bought a kit.
Yeah.
Just to test it, I bought like a Mary Rose starter kit. I think it cost me £3.
Yeah.
And I had it delivered to every delivery centre.
Yeah.
Because that was basically nothing. And I got it within 2 days. It was an amazing experience.
It's not always 2 days. Yeah. It's up to the buyer has 3 days. The seller has 3 days to send it off to you. And the company's up to 5 days between their network. You know, the lifeboat I bought took nearly a week to get to me, but I got it really cheap as well. I didn't get it. Well, I could have listed it on eBay for eBay pricing, but you know, it's
you can even make offers if somebody's selling something and you think, oh, that's a bit rich, but you know, I'd pay £5 less or £10 less. You can send them an offer.
Yeah.
Just like on eBay.
You know, I was going to say both
it's a really
Vinted
good
and
platform.
Poshmark. I've done the same thing where the first time I visited both of those sites, I found a kit and got it. In fact, the a couple of my kits that I got for, you know, almost $30 to $70 less than what they usually are, I got off of either Poshmark or Vinted. So
yeah. Vinted is massive, and it also takes responsibility from the seller. See, with me, because they give me the money, eBay take what they want out of it. I'm left with a portion of money to go and buy the postage label through eBay, you know, and then I've got to then ship it. And if it doesn't get there or something happens to that item, it's my responsibility then to go to Royal Mail and say, "Where's me effing parcel? I've sent it. Where is it?" And then end up claiming and getting back a pack of stamps. The sellers buy it because the buyer's buying the postage. As soon as it gets scanned into Yodel or wherever it needs to be, the responsibility is off my shoulders. I've done my bit. If it gets there and there's something damaged inside, obviously, if it goes missing, Vinted and Yodel take responsibility because it's been scanned into that station. So it's a win-win. And you know, the only trouble is that you can't do it as a business. So that's why if Vinted opens up as a business, we would be shifting all of our stock over to Vinted very next day. But at the moment, you can only get 200 listings. I've got 10,000.
Have you ever had to use the eBay Global Postal Service?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Have you ever tried to send anything to Australia?
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it, because as soon as it hits GSP in Lichfield, all responsibility's gone. It gets there broken. I get my money. I don't lose any money. They pay out to the customer. They remove all negative feedback. They organize. The thing is that got me is that they charge incredible amounts and use tax to the buyer of these items. See, I sell a lot of vintage stuff. That's what I'm into. I'm an antiques dealer. So, and the VAT's already been paid, right, on this sort of stuff. Now, when I went to ship something to John Alec to America and to Fenris, I have been told from the horse's mouth, FedEx, and whoever I use, or United States Postal Service via Royal Mail or whoever they use around here, Connect, I think it's called, I can ship up to $500 tax. So when the recipient gets it, they pay no tax. They get a $500 allowance. Okay, but eBay say anything over 10 is taxable. So I don't get that. So there's something really wrong there. So it's best again, you know. I had
a Matchbox kit that somebody in Australia purchased.
Yeah.
And eBay's global service wanted £54 to deliver it.
Yeah. It's wrong. It's wrong. Just saw that. I know we're going off track a bit about Scale Model Show, but somebody's saying that Facebook Marketplace is a scam. No, Facebook Marketplace, I've not come across really bad scams. I've had the odd misappropriation and stuff, and I've, you know, my issue is the adverts. They say like, buy this monster kit or whatever, 34 quid. Then you look for that kit elsewhere and it's like £400.
Yeah.
So but they're advertising that. eBay, Facebook are taking that advert, the money, and so they're taking that money. I think if I get scammed by one of their adverts, I should have the right to sue Facebook for loss of vote because they've taken that money for that advert. And why is it when I go on Facebook Marketplace, I'm always maturedating.com comes up all the time? What's all that about? You know,
that's all your other cookies, Moss.
That's on the cookies, isn't it? Yeah, no, but I get that. You know, I get all these crappy adverts of, you know, get rich quick things. We get conned by those quick rich schemes because they're advertising, because I'm being conned by that advert. I think I'd be able to sue Facebook because they've taken that money to put that advert in front of my eyes.
You just use the golden rule all the time, don't you? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't.
Yeah, too good to be true probably isn't. That's right.
Yeah.
But don't stop buying from eBay, please. If you're into vintage stuff, come and see me. But yeah. And that's why FedEx is better for you Brits EU. Got that wrong. Regulations, all the regulations and allowance for VAT. That's right. But if you bought something in America from me, they charge you that. And I've had it out with eBay about it. I've told them. Quite true. I said you're destroying yourselves. So now it's not my search history, mate. They look at your age and then they whack you with adverts all the time. They whack you with these adverts. I get over 50s life plans and stuff like that all the time. It annoys me. Including vintage women by the sound of it, Moz. No judgment. They come as a kit form. Yeah. If I get them, I get it from Vinted. But yeah, you know, but that's eBay for you. And the other thing that annoys me about eBay is that I'm advertising my product and they've got adverts right beside my listing.
Mad as well.
Talk about spiting your nose, you're cutting your nose to spite your face. Anyway. So yeah, Vinted is a good place to buy model kits. Because everybody's going to rush out now and I'm going to see all my model kits I've put on Vinted getting sold.
I'm actually looking now, you've been talking about it.
Mate.
I'm having a look now that you've been mentioning it.
Yeah, Vinted, mate. Vinted.
Book a Typhoon, 124, 150 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I offered him 120 for it, and he said no, he would try and sell it on eBay at the weekend. So and then I got it for 90 quid, and I thought, yeah, I'm glad it didn't go on eBay.
Yeah. No, it's just one of those things, mature dating or anything mature. That's what I get on adverts for Facebook. And that's what I mean. They hit you with these adverts. Holiday Saga. I'm no Saga out. You know, I'm not like, you know what I mean? You know?
Why don't I get these adverts, Moss? I'm older than you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I get loads of insurance, and some of them are scams, insurance scams and stuff. So
wait till you see what starts coming through once you start listing your t-shirts, mate.
Yeah, Phil Nayer's right. You wait till you get the plan of your funeral email. Do you know what, right? I know of a football club who got in a deal with Cooperative Society, and they had a deal on that you could have your funeral casket in your football club's colours. And this particular football club sent this leaflet out to every member of their junior supporters club. It went down like a fart in a lift, mate. You had kids, as young as 6, asking what death and funeral is all about.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Targeted browse, but it shouldn't be because I've got targeted advertising off. I've realised if you turn off your targeted advertising, they will chuck everything at you. The highest bidder wins. You know, so that's why I get. You know, I get adverts for Pampers and other things like that. I haven't got kids, you know what I mean? Life plans and stuff. So, but yeah, YouTube's bad. Well, I don't see adverts on YouTube because I pay for premium. I got sick and tired of all the get rich quick.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah,
you get 4 channels with it. You know, for that $20, it's $20 here. Might have gone up a little bit, but you know, I gave 2 to my daughters, right? So they each have one. So now they don't see ads, and then I use it for for this channel. I use it for my parent channel.
Yeah,
It used to be a
that's it.
base cover channel, but
Yeah,
that $20, it does cover 4 channels. It's like the family plan or something like that. So,
yeah, it is good. And also, when you are a
So,
premier, if you do watch a video, the person who made that video gets a bit of a portion of that money as well. So, which is even more money than what you would get from clicking. I think every 10 people you get who are premium users who watch your channel equates to 1,000 who watch your channel. I think it is. It's quite it's quite a lot of money. So yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's adverts are the worst.
Have you tried using YouTube with an ad blocker on? They don't like that.
No, they don't, do they? No.
They find out, John? Is that true?
Yeah, if you use an ad blocker, YouTube will actually start sending you messages saying
they recently changed up how they test for it, and the reason why I know that is because I do not have an ad blocker, and I've started getting those messages.
Yeah,
I have some stuff on my system because I do AI and machine learning stuff, and there's one that for whatever reason flags and gets triggered as if it's ad blocker, and so now YouTube thinks I have ad blocker, and it hates me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's it's crap. They just chuck everything at you that doesn't. I remember that somebody said that if you want to make money on YouTube, do a video about car insurance, because that video and then link it as car insurance, and the same with makeup as well. If you do a video about makeup, no, I wouldn't, but makeup has got a bigger CPM and car insurance got a bigger CPM than anything else. So when I used to run a football forum for Google Ads, we'll always have one thread about where's the cheapest car insurance, because on that particular thread, the car insurance adverts were worth a lot of money. So they would always come up, you see, because of what's being read on the forum. So, but as I said, the Facebook ads, they just they chuck everything at you. No matter who you are, you could be,
well, so from an
and Airfix ads as well. I get a lot of Airfix ads on Facebook and on the Guardian newspaper. And it comes up.
Well, you will, Moss, because you're the Airfix fanboy.
Well, and part of what it is, because they look at the ads that of the stuff that you view and stuff, so that's the one that everybody knows, right? It's pinging off of the things you've already seen, but then it also will look at people who have looked at those similar things and what else do they look for, and so that's when it'll start throwing those things at you, and so there's a whole big algorithm that's based off of, you watched it, you like Airfix, you watch this Airfix Chill. Well, this guy likes Airfix, and there's this other guy, and he also likes McDonald's. This guy who likes McDonald's likes this car, so we're going to give you an advert for this makeup company, and you're like, what? But from a computer standpoint, it made sense. It doesn't to us.
What Fenris is trying to say is there's an awful lot of modelers that like mature women.
I'm happily sorted. Thank you very much.
Russian brides.
Oh dear. Anyway, going back to trade shows. We got on a tangent. I say I love going to trade shows to meet other people and to see other modelers, see other techniques. I also like to buy tools. Tools are my main thing this year. I've got a big case there of tools I've never used. But I if I don't buy, I go to a model show. There's not going to buy a model. I'll end up coming home with either some brush magic, some paint, some tools. What else do I buy when I go to model shows, which I can't get? It's just my local model shop is all sorts. Not Humble though. But then again, guess what I bought at this model show this week from Froome Model Centre at the show? Poly cement from Airfix, the precision poly.
The glue sniffer stuff.
Love that stuff. It's good. It's good stuff. That.
Was that on the collector's stand, Moss?
No, it wasn't. It was on the Froome Scale Model stand, the Froome Model Centre stand. I was well happy.
Have you bought Weebles, Moz?
No, I do have my Airfix man here. made by Airfix, Airfix plastic. Look at that. I got me. What was it called again? It's Flower Man. Is it
Home Pride?
Home Pride. That's it.
Home Pride, yeah.
Home
He had a
Pride.
name,
tell
though,
you
didn't he,
one-
on the adverts?
One disadvantage. Sorry, John.
Sorry, he had a name on the adverts, didn't he?
Mhm.
I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah.
Was it Max?
I don't know. But I tell you what, though, this is definitely an Airfix plastic because look at the fucking seam line on that, man.
Looks like his rear end.
Got a bum head. Look at that for a seam line all the way down.
He's a
Look at that
plumber.
seam.
Right, must
Look
have made
at
in
that
India.
seam. You get your Fred. He was called Fred.
Fred,
Yeah, you
yeah.
said it is
That
Airfix
was it.
plastic. Look at that seam from the
That was it.
1960s.
Fred.
Well, you're talking about Vinted before. If you type
Yeah.
Airfix into Vinted, you get an awful lot of Weebles come up. So
Yeah.
just bear that in mind,
They were
everyone. If you're
marketed,
looking
but they were
Vinted.
made under license by Airfix.
Oh,
Mm.
the wibbly
And also,
wobblers.
another one that was Airfix was the little teapot. The Bluebird teapot was made by Airfix plastic, apparently.
Do you remember
They-
the the aircraft carrier landing set that Airfix used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
And they
Phantom.
also did a Airfix Scale Extra, didn't they?
Got that. I've got an Airfix Scale Electrics.
I had that carrier landing set, and it took forever to set up,
Yeah.
and it was a nightmare to try and land the damn thing. And then the control stick always broke.
Yeah.
Hungry Hippos.
Other than
as
that, it
well.
was great. Flight deck. That's right. Thank you, Hobby Time.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bath time fun with the submarine?
Now we're
My
going
dad
down
was
those adverts
shares in it.
again, John. We're going back down those adverts again.
Airfix made some right tat in the 60s and 70s toys. Right tat.
Yeah. Old Airfix. So I collect Airfix stuff, memorabilia. I've got lots of their games. I've got Airfix Mad Marbles up there.
Yep.
Airfix Mad Marbles. I've even got one of their well, as I say, if there's anything Airfix and I see it, I buy it. I'm terrible. If I see something,
Mods, you need to get some Weebles.
Remember the big massive Lego bricks that Airfix brought out?
yeah, they were called
Remember
something
them?
else though. They weren't Duplo, though, were they?
No, they weren't. They were oh god, what were they called? Something like Air Brick or something.
I do wonder how Airfix got away with that because they call their weekly show, don't they, or their monthly show Flight Deck, don't they? One of it's named after the game.
Might be.
That's one
You
thing
know.
you should get Dale to re-release.
What Flight Deck?
Flight Deck is a vintage classic.
Doubt they've even got the tooling for it anymore.
And their digital car.
Mm.
That was terrible.
What did I? There you go. Because Airfix used to do pre-made models, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
they did.
used to do a robot, didn't they?
Yeah. Look at this one
I've
here.
got
This
one
one.
somewhere.
There you go,
Those.
Airfix OO
Yeah.
scale.
What is that? 144th or something?
No,
No,
it's not. It's OO
176.
scale 176.
Yeah.
But it was all pre-made.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was paint them.
They did a
What?
landing craft as well, didn't they? In grey
Yeah.
plastic.
But that, yeah, in grey plastic, yeah.
Better
Yeah.
build
And they did, what was the American tank they did? It's like a,
Pattern.
pattern. Yeah.
An M60 or an M48. It was a pattern tank.
Had a little machine gun turret that moved on the
That's
top of the
right,
turret. Yeah.
And the Antar tank transporter and trailer. I had one of those. Yeah.
I was asked this question today, actually, so I thought I'd get it out. When Airfix used to do kits that were already pre-painted. Remember these?
1/100 scale. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this one was... Yeah, they're not all 1/100. One's like 120, one's, you know...
Mhm.
But you get everything in there, so it's all pre... And actually, to be fair,
They're not
they did
bad,
a
are
pretty
they?
good job at
Yeah,
painting
they're
them.
not
I've just got a big screen in a minute. They do a... There you go. They actually were, but they were painted on the sprue. Look at that. Look at the mottling effect on that. But they were
Yeah.
pre-painted, and the canopy was all done for you as well.
Oh, wow.
So they had these back in the day. I've got one here somewhere, like a stealth bomber or something. lying around.
I had a Phantom, an F4 EJ Phantom, and all you had to do with that was put the pitot tube on the nose.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do.
I had the stealth bomber here somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it. It must be around somewhere. But yeah, I need to make them like that. So they all that was like, that's just laziness, that is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But the worst thing is, they even came with this fucking glue, man.
Yeah.
We're like cursed for that glue. We're like cursed for that glue, man. It's the perfect starter set, but it's got the crap glue. Anyways, so yeah, anything else
those could actually be quite good as well, just for practicing weathering.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about painting a load of stuff. If you just want to practice some weathering techniques, get one of those. It's pre-painted.
Oh, they're perfect for Sully, right? Because
Sully would love
that. Weather and perfection.
Yeah.
I used to build everything crashed.
Yeah.
Every single kit he had, it was dioramed as a crash landing. Brilliant kit modeler, though.
You have to wonder why there's so much of this Airfix glue.
Where's it all gone?
And where does it all come from? This glue. I wonder if they make it out of a former Airfix employees.
On that bombshell. But no, as I said, going back to scale model shows, is there any that you go to regular? Anyone that you would recommend going to? Sully would know. Anyone that you know, Sully?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone, is he? What about you, Dave? Is there any scale model shows you go to regular?
I'll be honest. The only one that I'm aware of up here is the Newcastle IPMS, what we call them. And it's June every year at a local sports centre. And that's the only one I'm aware of now. There was definitely more when I was a kid, but I tend to go with that every year. And it is actually...
Where's that one at in Newcastle?
Say again, sorry?
Where's that one at in Newcastle?
It's at the Parks in North Shields. It's a sports centre, just outside, out towards the coast. So, but it's a decent show, like. A lot of traders there. And like there was quite a big sort of competition area as well, so it's not bad. And it's cheap as anything to get. I think it's like £5 to get in or something. So.
Yeah,
I might try it next year.
Yeah,
it's in June. It tends to be in June every year. So
it has to be June, July for Newcastle. Though it's the only time the temperature gets warm enough to go out, right? I spent 7 years in the northeast, so I did my time.
Yeah, my wife's from the south. She's still adapting.
No. The Scale Model Challenge in the Netherlands is a great show. Was there this year? I think there's more this year than there was previous because North Devon have a show now. Cornwall have a show. I think Plymouth have a show. Thornbury is my favourite round here proper. I like Thornbury. You went to that one, didn't you, Alex? That's when we met. Did we meet in Thornbury? No, that was Nigel I met in Thornbury. Thornbury's a really good model show. Bovington, whatever you want to say it, that's a good one. The Scotland one, is it in Edinburgh? They reckon that's a wicked one to go to. Yeah, James Willard. You should try Scotland in February. But I thought you meant a scale model show. The Whitney show is a nice, friendly show last weekend in September. See, what we need to do is actually have an announcement every week on where the next model show is going to be. And let's see if we could all I want to get to as many as I can, if you know what I mean. Because I'm free most Sundays. And just go, yeah. Yeah, me and myself and the gaffer like Thornbury show too. It's a really good show, Thornbury. Other side of Bristol. Really worth the effort to get to that one.
I think in terms of recommending shows, though, Moss, it depends why you're going to the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the three main reasons are that, one is to meet up with people. Two is to, find that obscure kit that you've been looking for or tools, to buy stuff. And then I guess the third one is competition.
Yeah.
There'd be no point to going to the Yeovil show if you like competitions because they don't run one,
Yeah, but they're not a lot of them. I think Pool Scale Model Show does a competition. Does Thornbury do a scale model competition? I don't think they do they?
Yeah, but you're
I think
risking
the
being called a
competition's
freeloader
gearing
then.
up again, but I think it's taken a while since COVID.
Yeah. But then you want to do them here in this country because they don't pick up the models, do they? They've got to leave them on the deck. But yeah, I just think maybe we should just say the scale models this week. Just actually support them so they keep going. I think scale model shows need scale modelers to go more than they need the traders to go in some respects. Well, I think it's a bit of a mixture, I guess. The traders need the scale modelers to go, but the scale modelers have to go to get the traders in, and try and get that balance. Crazy Locker says, "What, me having to drive 100 miles to Orlando for a model show? Did you bump your head?" Well, I drive 150 miles to get to Telford, and West Midlands was a long old trek for me as well. Is it 150 miles to Bristol, to Telford?
I take umbrage at Crazy saying that 100 miles is like making it out to be this long distance. Like,
yeah, that wouldn't even get me past Leeds.
Yeah,
that's like a little over an hour and a half going down I-4. Come on.
Right.
How far's Newcastle from Keswick then, Dave?
Keswick, probably
Yeah.
about 80 miles.
So if I go to Keswick to see the family, I could pop across to that one in Newcastle then, couldn't I? I'm just trying to plan my year now. For next year.
Yeah, you just get near 69 and straight over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't see the famous tree now because somebody's cut it down, but there you go.
Oh, yeah. That's a shame, that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've never seen people in the northeast so angry. I really haven't. It was, yeah.
That's why you should see the pitchforks that are happening from the crooked pub that got burnt down.
Oh god.
I saw that, yeah.
Crumbs. Yeah. But
they're all backwards around there anyway.
I'm going to a show at the Army Flying Museum on the 26th of November.
Is that at Middle Wallet?
That's Bugle Call, isn't it? 26th of November. The Army Flying Museum. I can't remember.
The Army Flying Museum's in Middle Wallet, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Hampshire.
The Army Flying Museum.
I just had my the way my brain works is just remembered. Oh, Sandown Park.
Sandown Park.
I have been to that in Kempton Park.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
Yeah, that's in Stockport, isn't it?
What's that?
The Aircraft Enthusiast Fair and Model Show 2023. So yeah. So I won't be going to that one because I'm going Bugle Call this year.
Keswick's 100 miles from Newcastle.
Yeah, I could do that. I could go up to Newcastle, go to Morshaw, and then cut across and stay with the family for the night and do that. Have we thought of doing a show as a trader, Alex? You've already answered that question, haven't you?
Yeah, I just answered it in the chat as well. No.
The day he does that is the day he doesn't have a hole in his ass. Apparently, that's how set he is on not becoming a trader.
Well, I mean, if it absolutely went ballistic and I had money coming out my ears to burn, then yeah, sure. But otherwise, no.
Yeah. Hugh Gordon say it's a 448.7 miles for me to Telford, a bit of a trek.
Wow.
So where does he live to?
He's up near Inverness.
I was going to say that's going to be North Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah,
Is it really?
That's a really short plane flight, though.
Yeah. I'm going to basically say that I would. I've driven to Aberdeen. I'd go overnight. I leave at 6 at night, and I get to Aberdeen, Inverurie or Rothy Norman in about 10.5 hours, and that's with one stop and about 5 bottles of piss on my chair beside me. I just keep on going.
I've never done in a single day was on holiday driving from this country, from overnight in Folkestone to the south of France, 1,000 miles.
Wow,
with
done.
Children.
Oh, great! Was that in the days of Game Boy?
No.
Days of what?
No, we had Road Dahl on CD. That's what entertained the kids.
You didn't drive all that.
Stage I'm in now. Road Dahl on the CD in the car.
Hugh Gordon, I come from Inverurie, Moss. Brilliant. There, I've got a cousin who lives there, and I love her to bits. Yeah, she lives in Inverurie. I try to go up there as much as I can and visit her. I do. Sometimes I go straight there and then come back and stay time in Keswick, and then come back that way. But it's still 5 hours to Keswick. So
you don't realise how big Scotland is. I mean, we went up to the northwest about 10 years ago on holiday, and it took 7.5 hours from Newcastle.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. If you actually look at Scotland, it is half the country, isn't it? You look at England. Really, with landmass, I think England have got the better end of the deal. To be honest, when it comes to landmass, like you get to Glasgow and you think, oh, you're in Scotland, but you've got another 5 to 6 hours of driving.
Yeah.
To get, or maybe 5 hours. So it takes me about 5 hours to get past Keswick. What's it called?
Yeah, it's a big place. It's a big place.
You get to Carlisle because you got that M6, haven't you? And then all of a sudden, the motorway stops, and you're on A roads, and then you've got this one long A road that has about 20,000 speed cameras on, so you can't even go faster than 50.
Is that the A9?
Yeah, the A9. That's it.
A9. Yeah,
it's incredible. It's like a miniature bit of Blackpool, because you can't go faster than 30 in Blackpool because there's a camera in every corner, So you got this. Yeah, it's. God dear, Lord Bodford said it took me 10 hours a day to go from Bury, Manchester, to Aberdeen today. Was traffic that bad? Mind you, got a lot of flooding in Scotland, haven't they? So, but yeah, I'll definitely be up to going up to a model show in Scotland and visit folks if people are up there. And if there's any decent model shops up in Scotland, let me know, because I love visiting model shops as well. So,
well, it's only 11 hours to get from here to Telford. I'm just now finding.
I could do the Moz's road trip and just go all the way up, or stay on the M5, M6, way up, and just visit as many model shops as I can, all the way up through to Scotland, and do a video on it. Today we'll bypass Jadlam in Bristol.
I'll tell you what, Moss, what we should do is we should do like the Antiques road trip. We should do like the model road trip. You and I both go different routes, different model shops, see what bargains we can get.
Yeah.
I tell you, there is a really good one. There's a really good one in Northern Somerset. Little shop.
Yeah, little shop.
Yes.
You could do that. We could come back and see who gets the Typhoon for 80 or 70 quid, like, you know what I mean?
See who makes more selling on Vinted.
It's like a top tier challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. No auctions this week. If you want to buy a kit, there's Vinted. Yeah, Wonderland in Lothian Road. I'll pop in there. Yeah, that'll be a bit of a. There's a 2-hour detour to go Junction 1 on the A90. Really, that's Ella. That is crumbs. It took me longer to get from London to Paddington, Devon, as it took me to get from Amsterdam to Paddington on the train. Yeah, trains are buggered in this country, but that'll be a pretty cool road trip actually. You can find decent model shops in Berkshire. That'd be pretty good. But yeah, I'll be interested in doing that, going up and just checking out some model shops. It's quite. They're not all died, have they? You know, if there was one really close to me, I'll be there every week. But and also the trouble is some deal with other companies, don't they? You know, it's like some have got the whole range of Tamiya lacquer paints in, and some have the whole range of, you know, Vallejo, and no one's got the whole range of Umbro. So, you know, it's.
Anna, you do the quiet talking a lot, please.
Right. It's all right. It's my wife. It's fine.
Did you not butter the toast the right way?
I thought it was someone's Alexa for a moment.
Yeah. All the guys.
Alexa, wasn't it?
Be them pop-ups Moz was telling you about before.
There's a shop near Chesterworth Street. Have you ever been to that one, Dave? North East Model Centre.
I've passed it. I've never been in it. It is quite big.
Sure.
But I want to go because this sort of V-bomber diorama I want to do, and I'm starting to pull the bits together for the diorama, and they sell all that. Whereas the local model shop I've got in Whitley Bay here, where I live, it's a real old-fashioned, traditional model shop. He's completely independent, tiny, but he's just got kits and paint and glues. Really,
they sell all the railway accessories and foliage and stuff like that, and they do RC as well.
Yeah.
He'll just put Moz and Alex for UK model shops on Yesterday Dave TV. Oh dear, I wouldn't do it anyway. Not on mainstream telly. They've had enough of Simon Kohler to put anybody off talking about models and trains for the next 10 years, I reckon.
Call it Moss's model trek.
Oh, it'd be a bit of a laugh, wouldn't it? Going up and down, trying to find it, or go to a model show and then out you go around all the bits and pieces around. There is a lot of model shops still going.
Oh, yeah.
It's
They really are.
Putting in Alex's model shop, and YouTube didn't like that.
Did you get an advert? Did somebody get an
advert?
No,
it went through. Yeah, you bet, buddy. It went through once, but the other ones it didn't. Anyways, Alex, I will be looking through that myself. So,
just ship it through UPS and it'd be cheaper. Just ship it through UPS, it'd be cheaper on the tax. Yeah. And all these people are now have gone off. We've lost about 30 people watching us now because they've all gone off to Vinted looking at model kits, haven't they?
That's right. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I might put a load on and then get you guys to buy them off there. I think it's just easier. Much more. It's less aggravation anyway. Really a lot less aggravation. YouTube doesn't allow outside links anymore, doesn't it? I think it does.
Yeah, I think that
it does.
It blocked. It didn't like it. I put in outside links. I don't know why, but at least one went through.
They're all signing up to the mature dating site.
Which one do you use then, James?
I don't.
Magical Mostery Tour. Yeah. I love it. What was there? When I lived in Canada, I used to drive a semi-truck. Is that like a Placid sort of truck? To Vancouver to LA, then up to Calgary and back to Vancouver. It works out 3,400 miles, and I did that once a week. Crumbs.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Bossog says the only place I can find decent kits locally is a mail order place in my town. It does happen. The internet has destroyed a lot of it, but but I still think that model shops could do with, like farmers have to, is diversify. It's like I've always wanted to do a little cafe that does sandwiches, teas, coffees, and then there's a spray booth there, and you can spray up your models or have a chat with other scale modelers. But I don't think any of them has ever been that successful. I don't think scale modeling has come back into the proper realms as it once was. There's whatever you say, there's still that push for computer games. If you think about it, the kids that play Minecraft are in the hundreds of millions, isn't there, of kids who play Minecraft. Now, if we had hundreds of millions doing scale models, the hobby would just be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I think most people come to it, Moss, in the same way that we did. It's just like they have a relative, either a parent or an uncle or an aunt or a friend who's into the hobby or into history or something, and they're going to get interested in that, and they maybe go to a museum and they'll see something or get a kit, and then they have some sort of mentor. And I think there's, it's kind of incumbent on us to kind of try and foster that as much as possible, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think model shops do have a role in that, and I think you're right about diversification. Today I took a commission today, one of my first commissions. I'm going to be doing 3D printing as well. Took to a couple of people about doing courses, basic courses on airbrush. Again, just to bring people into the hobby, and help develop them, because they want to learn. They don't have a club to go to, and making model shops that kind of centre of adding that value add that you don't get from the internet, right? Because you can watch a YouTube video, but having somebody there saying, okay, yeah, you're doing that, and I see why, but if you just do X, Y, and Z, then it will be easier, or what you're doing is you've got your pressure set too high, or whatever it is.
A lot of YouTube channels don't show you the mistakes, though, do they? That's half the problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, that's quite true. Also, the other flip side of it, you wouldn't be able to do a cafe in a local town or a village. You need to go to a proper city and basically become a church. You need to outreach to people about the pleasures and the benefits of scale modeling in your day-to-day lives. That's what you need to do, is to treat it like a religion. Create a place where scale modeling can learn about scale modeling, to embrace scale modeling, learn to, and I know religion's a shit word to say. Just bear on me this, because you get like the elders who there's people that can it will teach you how to heat up sprue and stretch it in a particular way to get it to the thickness that you want. There are people who've got that technique down to an art who'll be willing to share that on. There'll be those who use enamel paints. There'll be those who can airbrush. There'll be those who are technically savvy to, if you've got a problem with your airbrush, you would take it to them to fix it. That's the sort of thing you want in that sort of city sort of environment where you have a drop-in place where scale models can go. And that would be my vision. And I'm sorry I used the word religion. I know it can be quite offensive.
Like
but
an apprenticeship.
You can see where I'm coming from. With these groups, there will be elders there who have known all the techniques. There'll be those who will be able to fit, a bird's nest in a cockpit in a particular way that who to go to if you want to put a bird's nest in a cockpit.
Who's that? I want to meet them.
Yeah. That's it. The Airfix Alpha course. I'm just saying, but this is the idea of what Apple were trying to do, wasn't it? They were trying to do, the company Apple were trying to do these, they call them town centres or something, wasn't it? And then people would go along and there would be a cafe there and you would sort out your problems with your iPhone, and you would talk to other developers, other coders. And that was the idea. And maybe that's what we need to open up for scale modelling in a big...
I think you're absolutely right, Martin. I think bringing it back to the scale model shows, what an ideal place to do it. Telford, a 2-day show. Look at one thing that miniature painting war games gets much better, that does way better than scale models, and it's this area. Look at Gen Con, look at Adepticon in the US. They are huge, and they have massive tutorial sessions, painting sessions, airbrushing, master classes from stuff. And they're over a longer period of time, but 2 or 3 days is easily enough to arrange some of that. And again, it's bringing people in. The really good model shows. There's another one as well, the game show in Birmingham, right? It's just for board games, all sorts of stuff. There are companies there that there was a company called Hawk War Games, right? It was taken over by Tabletop Gaming and Tabletop Games Company. And they were basically giving away kits. They had a load of kits, like space station kits, on a big table, and kids could just come in and get whatever bits they wanted to make, and they had a competition, to who's going to make the best space station. It's just stuff like this, getting, sparking the imagination of people, increasing people's skills, welcoming people. And I don't think the modeling community has been very good at that, at fostering that in a way that the gaming and war games community have really been doing for a long time.
I think on that flip side, though, it's very difficult setting up these things when children are involved, because there's so many more loopholes you've got to go so many more hoops to jump through to get that.
Fair enough for the kids, but you could, for the adults,
for an adult version, you could have a pub where they come around, have something to eat, have a drink, do a bit of modelling. I've thought about these things before.
A Moscon.
No, I won't call it Moscon.
Because it will be a con.
Yes, it will be a con.
All right.
And the adverts, but It's like when there was a suggestion of having a jamboree of scale modelling, like have a weekend where you pitch up your tent, you go to the nearest marquee, there's food, there's drink. What you got to do is, and then you just sit there all weekend. There'll be spray booths, there'll be people there bringing their own equipment, bringing their own models, and just sit there and build a model over a weekend. And, and you could have a band there in an evening and have a bit of fun, That sort of thing really does entice me, thinking, for a weekend, I could just go away for a weekend and just do one. They do it for coders. They go away for a long weekend and they code up a game or something. Why can't we come up to somewhere where we can have a big field with a big marquee and we all bring our own equipment, or we bring equipment we're willing to share? If you've got a spare Harder and Steenbeck Ultra, bring it along, if you use your Infinity, but let somebody use your compressor. You're not going to use it all the time, are you? Just sit there and and at the end of the weekend, Sunday in the afternoon, you get a certificate. You probably put it in for a little, see how far you've come, and they can judge you. And, and so whoever comes up with it would probably make a few quid for themselves, organise it, because I'm not going to say everything can't be done for free. Crumbs, charity shops, they pay £30,000 for somebody to run their charity shop. You know what I mean? So there are ways to make money from it. But if somebody come up and said, right, in Bristol, we found a field that's got toilets, a shower, bring your tent, bring your equipment, away you go. That would that'd be worth it for me.
I'm just going to say a few words, Moss. Mossman 2024.
And then we can have a charity and we'll put Models for Heroes on it. So bring your flying hours. Any kits you don't want to build, bring them along with you. But it's organising it, innit?
Hey, we set up a charity. You don't have to pay the VAT.
No.
That's very true. But we need to find a place to do it. Maybe Historic Helicopters may have a spare barn or two. You could, or bring a Sea King with you. I'm just saying, I like that thought, but it's a lot. Maybe I don't know. Modsman, yeah. But
car park.
You got to bring a tent and your sleeping bag, and then just
bring your own bird's nest.
Bring your own bird's nest. Would you be up for that, James? Would you come down for that?
I'd have to look at the transport situation.
Yeah.
So
we'll have special guests. We'll get Plasmo to come over or something. We'll get, what's it called? Uncle Night Shift to come over and do a tank with us or something for a weekend.
Martin Kovac.
Yeah. I could sit. I'd like to spend some time watching him work, actually.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, his videos are amazing, but to see him actual step by actually being there while he does it, I think that would be quite impressive.
He's the reason why I do my stuff the way I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a talented guy, like.
So I'd have to find a venue. And I don't want to. I know there's somebody who's thinking about it anyway, so I don't want to step on his toes. But maybe get Airfix down as well. They could bring the kits. You're going to buy your kit from Airfix, and then the thing about it, to organise it would be a lot of aggro. You got to get all the tables together, make sure people are bringing.
Yeah, Moss, you could get ordained, and that way you could do christenings and weddings.
Yeah. Get married. It's. I don't know. Let's chat about it. But we don't call it Mosman. We could call it Airfix and Chill Week or something like that. I don't know. Weekend. I don't know. It's not. Honestly, I'm really reluctant for my names to be put to stuff because it's not about me. This is about the community.
But the thing is, but to be fair though, the thing is, everybody knows your name.
That's bad, isn't it?
Well, well, yeah, it is actually. But the thing is, though. But it will draw more people in because people have heard about it, recognise it. Yeah, they fucking will.
No, I'm not that way. There are bigger channels out there. You could probably, but I want the focus not on us. It's about the community. That's what the idea is.
I want all the focus on me.
I never called this Muslim. I had a bit of a laugh when I said, "Oh, I fancy some." When my mate said, "Oh, I'm going to Netflix and chill tonight with the missus," and I laughed. And I said, "Well, I'm going back to the model bench. It'll be more like Airfix and Chill for me," and that's where I got the name from. Airfix and Chill. It's nothing to do about Airfix really. It's just it goes well with Netflix and Chill. We all know what Netflix and Chill is, don't we? So, right. Apparently, they want to auction off this T-shirt now. It'll be about 2 weeks if I get another one. But if you want to bid on a T-shirt like this, right? Okay, I'll bids on. Right. So if you want to start bidding, I'll put the clock up for 5 minutes. We'll have a quick. Who wants this? Not this T-shirt. I will get you one printed to your size. Okay. No return. So if you tell me it's an extra large and you're too fat for it, and you need an XXL, it's tough shit.
You should change the scale on the front depending how fat the person is. Like 132.
Yeah, 130. You can have it whether you want, 172 or 130. Yeah. Now we're just at
about 124.
Yeah. So right, we'll put the clock up then. Who wants an Airfix 148 T-shirt? You should see the other T-shirts that are coming. You're gonna love. I've got one in the style of Lego that says Airfix. It looks great, honestly. But anyway, bye. Right. Where's the timer on this thing? I've got a new phone. Timer. Where's the timer? Timer. Then we'll do it for 5 minutes. Start. There we go. There you go. 5 minute timer. You see that? Remember, bid. Yeah, right. Okay. Right, so man's mono's at 12 at the moment for an Airfix 1 to 48. £25 from Kevin L.
Wow.
For the T-shirt.
Nice.
25 quid for the T-shirt. Yeah, Paul Christopher, I understand that. Do at Butlins, but Butlins isn't cheap. You got to make it accessible. See, it's not really all you're really paying for is your pitch for your tent and the actual marquee. The trouble you've also got is you're going to have to get outside caterers in, and they'll want some sort of deposit up front. So you get a burger van in or something. You need, So yeah, it's a lot to organise. But if somebody was willing to set up an Airfix and Chill model weekend, I'm pretty sure that we could ask certain manufacturers to come along and. Because you may get there and realise I haven't got the right paint. So if we're close to a model shop.
You also need a license for the thing as well, don't you?
Or for the what?
Well, for the Mozfest.
A license? Do I need a license?
You need a license.
We do open days at the rugby club. You need like a public
liability.
Public safety license.
Yeah.
You need insurance as well, Moss.
Well, perhaps we just say, look, we've got this field with a marquee in it. Just turn up. You do your own. Yeah. Don't pay nothing. Just turn up. Give a donation. Can you do that? Yeah. Because you wouldn't know then who would be turning up. There'd be people like camping out in their cars on the main road, So at the moment we've got £25 for the T-shirt so far. Yeah, probably liability. I don't know. It's So the idea is there's definitely a seed. If somebody would like to do it, organise it, I will be there. But and then we get a band in for an evening and have some music because you won't be modelling. Some people will stay late modelling on the Friday night to really crack on with it.
The guaranteed that you've got to jump out. You've got parachute in.
out of a red arrows.
No, from space.
No, yeah.
Gents, I do apologise, but I'm going to have to log off.
You're logging off for you, mate. Nice seeing you, mate.
Nice to see you.
See you later, mate.
See you there.
Want a quick bid on the T-shirt before you go?
I need to be 1 to 32 for me. I think or 124.
Oh, okay. Next week I'll do a 132. We'll put that on. Right, what are we up to? Oh, we've got 1 minute 53 left on the clock. Come on. Why won't it go bigger? There you go. 1:45 left on the clock. Hold it in the old Airfix factory. I think that would be fabulous, but I don't think Airfix actually own that real area. I think they rent certain parts of it, don't they, for storage? But if you wanted
demolished.
Has it been demolished now, is it?
I thought the one in Hull, Kingston upon Hull.
No. It's all about the Margate one.
Oh right. Okay. Oh
yeah,
okay,
Margate. Yeah. Yeah, an off-season hotel might be better. What, like a Tory conference in Brighton?
Couldn't you get space in the local shopping centre?
I don't know, mate. It's really difficult with these things. It's not as straightforward as people make out. The idea is there. I would love to do it for the crack, but it would be see, Margate isn't middle of the country either. You would want to do it near Birmingham way or somewhere central, wouldn't you? Really? So
Nottingham.
Yeah. So anyway, up to 20 seconds left on the auction. We're up to £25 from Kevin M. Yeah, lots of health and safety to take. Yeah, but the idea is that I would love a weekend. It must happen because everybody has these weekends, don't they? Like 8 seconds left. This is going to Kevin M. 2, 1.
That's it.
There we go. Brilliant. That's it.
Well
Kevin
done.
M. You
Well
are
done,
the winner
Kevin.
of the T-shirt. Can you email me your measurements, please, and I will get one printed for you. If you're XXL, you can have one now because I've got an XXL one upstairs. But if you want one a bit smaller, then let me know and I'll get one ordered. It'll be about 2 weeks, and there'll be £5 shipping on that as well. I should have said that. If you want to pay
shipping, you'll be getting different adverts after he emails you his measurements, Moss.
So well done, Kevin M, for winning the T-shirt. You wait till next week. I got some classics coming. I really have got some nice T-shirts coming. I got a friend who designs it for me just for a bit of fun, but the one that made of Lego, it looks fabulous. It really does, and I can't wait to wear that for one. It's got Airfix and Chill in Lego, but it looks like the Lego symbol, so it looks pretty fun. One's Sega logo, but it looks like he's got in his Airfix. He's quite clever at what he does. So anyway, so Kevin, email me. The information's in the about section, the email address, and I'll get that ordered for you and I'll get it sent to you in a couple of weeks. £25 plus, if you can afford the ship, it's a £5. If not, I'll bypass it and pay for it myself. There you go. One little auction for a T-shirt. If anybody else wants one, let me know. They're 25 quid each. David set the price.
That's right. That's the bar.
Yeah. And it's that's a bit of fun, isn't it? As I say, I saw a video, Austin 316, because that's what he used to have, wasn't it, on his T-shirts. And I thought I could do Airfix 148 or 172 on that. So yeah, bit of fun. So anyway, looks like we all enjoy a model show. It's just a case of getting to them, and hopefully I'll be meeting some of you at Telford in 2 weeks. Jadlam is in Glastonbury. Yeah, where's it? No, it's Street, isn't it? Is it Street? It's not quite in Glastonbury. I think it's in Street. It's off. Oh, it is in Glastonbury actually, isn't it? It's on the road between Street and Glastonbury because I've gone past it many, many times. I've never been in. So maybe we could do it in the car park at Jadlam. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
They can supply the goods.
Well, it's difficult. It is. You think about things. The organisation. I wonder how much it really costs in insurance to do something like Telford. But then again, I know that what's he called? The Scale Model website does a weekend where he does spraying and stuff. What's he called again? The Scale Model page. There's a website, Scale Model or Scale Model Online or something, and he does. Went to
UK Scale Modeler.
Pardon?
Is that the UK Scale Modeler?
He does. Is he called Graham or somebody?
Yeah, I think that's the UK Scale Modeler.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're doing it as an individual business or something, then you can use like the out of season hotel or something.
Yeah,
it's much easier. It's when you start to scale up from that, isn't it?
Scale modeling now, it's called.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Jeff Coughlin, he's called. I am subscribed to his website actually because I've written an article or two for his website. But I do my own now on. If you've seen the video, I do my own articles now on Substack. But yeah, and there you go. He's got one. He does weekends away where people watch demonstrations of spray airbrushing and building models and everything else. So
they are quite good. I've done 2 at work.
Yeah,
they are quite good actually.
Maybe we can
that's
all
when
come
you
up
get
to
into a thing where you have to put the car
Costford,
keys in the goal, but
Costford. Sully,
What?
can we do it there?
If you've got to spare a couple of £100, yeah.
What, to have a weekend up at Cosford to do?
Yeah, I reckon it'd be a few £100.
Well, people pay for tickets. They need somewhere to come there, put their tent. So that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Have you got a campsite around there?
No.
No.
And plus the base get a bit shirty sometimes about stuff like that.
Do they?
I tell you what, they're a funny bunch. Mind
Really?
you, to be fair though, it is still an active station, so I kind of get that. To be fair,
Yeah.
not that really anything exciting happens there, but you know.
We could just have a tent up at Glastonbury. You come to Glastonbury, but you end up go scale modeling and just have Oasis and Blur in the background. Yeah. No, it's only I'm a glamper, honestly, right? You know, my dream is to get to own a really good camper van or a motorhome and just go around and yeah. I camped when I was a kid, and I camped when I used to go fishing. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, something to think about anyway in the future. I guess we just need someone who's willing to take it on and organise it, because I really haven't got the time to. But you know, it'd be interesting though, Alex, wouldn't it, to have a bit of an event like that, wouldn't it?
It would.
It would be a bit of fun. If you think anybody got any thoughts on the idea, just email me or email Alex at info@mansmodels. You know,
don't use that because that's not an email address.
No, don't use that. I'm joking. Just email info@maturedating or something like that. Anyway, folks, that's really good chat. Next week, I'm trying to get 3D Gizmo on, and I emailed or messaged Spencer Pollard to come on the show for a chat, and I only saw the message before the show because I haven't been on Messenger really this weekend. I've been really busy, and he would love to come on. So maybe in a couple of weeks we'll get Spencer Pollard on as well, and he can talk about his books, because his books are absolutely outstanding. I've got one here. If you want to build a Spitfire, this book here, Modeling an Icon, #1 Spitfire, I promise you will not go wrong getting hold of his book. And you can get them on most, I think it's Easy Goodreads or something. The diagrams and the pictures are absolutely sublime. The man is a legend. He writes for Tamiya Modeling Magazine, I think it is, as well. He does a lot of work for them. So definitely worth it. Anyway, folks, thanks all for watching. Thank you, Fenris. Thank you, James. Has he gone, James? Has he obviously just gone quiet? James, I'm just getting rid of this. James, John Alex Scale Modeling, Sully Scale Models, Alec from Man Model Models, and our good friend John Parker. Thanks all for watching, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone, and goodbye.
You guys.